actuators look decent. I mean, for a ship it's all.
Really? I'm shocked she managed to limp back here at all. Bullet for leeches, get it fixed up, and let her know we'll have it ready as soon as we can.
Yes, sir. Supporting the Vanguard's way more interesting than lugging cargo. That's for damn sure.
Ah, you are new probationary then? Crew Chief Herat. Pleasure to be working with you.
It's my job to make sure all you rocket jockeys are ready for anything that comes at you up there. Now, Manifest says we're fitting you out with one comms repair suite.
In addition to the standard issue welcome kit all probationary pilots get for their first mission. Med packs, some small arms, couple spare ship parts, all the essentials in case of any surprises up there.
My people will have everything on your ship before you lift off. Won't even know they were there. So, paying a visit to the people of scenic Tau Ceti 2. Nice easy one for your first job. Just keep your head on swivel and you'll come home safe. Any questions before you head out? I honestly didn't realize it had people living on it until we got your recorder.
Report they gave us seemed clean, no known hostile outposts, but I wouldn't say that's permission to let your guard down. Just watch out for wildlife and pirates. Keep those med packs handy and you'll be fine. Nothing too dangerous, if that's your concern. The repair suite's mostly just wiring and circuit boards. The welcome kit has some goodies in there I wouldn't leave sitting around when company comes to visit. But it's nothing some proper storage can't make safe.
Then I won't keep you.
Make us look good out there, recruit.
Hello.
Whew. Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
I love coffee. It's my second favorite thing in the galaxy, next to reading about you. Space. The blackest sea. Where shall we swim to next, O wise and formidable captain? Your grav jumps are as majestic as a ballet. I heard you're fluent in over 24 verbal and body languages.
It seems unusually quiet here. That is rarely a good sign. Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets. This does not look to have been motivated by theft. That may make it worse.
I thought. Or you've got some incredible timing. Regardless, I think it knows you're here. I'll unlock the door. Second floor, main building. But be quiet.
So perhaps we should listen to her.
So what do we got here? Too clean to be one of the settlers. Or a pirate. You see on patrol, maybe? Yeah, make my day if you said you were a shock trooper out for a stroll. Oh, I've been better. But I think bleeding out is at least off the table. What I really need, though, is someone who knows their way around a weapon. So, if you wanted to tell me, I'm heavy infantry and I've come to bring you the gift of ordnance, I wouldn't mind in the least. Haven't brought the joke to your homeworld just yet, huh? But UC Vanguard's a hell of a lot better than what I've got. I'm Hadrian. I was a researcher with the UC. I came here on a rumor of a... Well, I expect you saw the results on your way in. What's left of the settlers? The work of Oxysio Machina. A terramorph. One of the nastiest aliens humanity's ever crossed paths with. And this one, well, it's something of an anomaly. Possibly a worrying one.
A terramorph? Here? Why did you not state that immediately?
I managed to scope out a fair bit of the facility before it found me. If there are any survivors of the attack, they're long gone. Terramorphs have a unique growth cycle. They're usually only found on worlds that have been long colonized by humanity. But Tau said he's too young to have one. Yet here it is. I came looking for an explanation and found all this.
They are death made manifest.
Suppose that's a pretty good summary. Among apex predators, they're the pinnacle. Resilient, agile, smart, and their mental prowess only increases with age. Some can even dominate the minds of weaker species, keeping them as pets, livestock, or toys. They're creatures without peer. I sure could. Because to confirm my suspicions about this creature, I'm gonna need a tissue sample from it. And to get that, I need its corpse. But there is a way we can give ourselves an edge against this thing. The plant's security system. The admin terminal's here in this building, but it needs its connection reset. And as I found out, that's not a one-person job. But if you can make it to the security outpost and restore the connection, I think I can get things back online. See if the settlers left us any other tools. Admin access is centralized to the terminal in this room. Nothing's coming back online if I'm not here. But even if that weren't the case, I'd likely be more of a liability out there than a help right now. It's the building in the middle of the facility. The terminal in there should allow you to grant me access to the system as a whole. Then we can see about getting things back online. The settlers outfitted most of the buildings with turrets at some point. Not sure how many are still operable, but at least a few appeared to be in fighting shape. There were also some sensors scattered around the facility that I didn't recognize. But those are honestly all just educated guesses until we get the connection reset. Look, I wouldn't be asking if I thought there was any chance I could handle it by myself. But there's no way I'm getting these defenses live on my own. And I have to get to the bottom of what happened here. Good. Once I see the connection reset, I'll get things underway on my end. Take care of yourself out there. And make sure you leave enough of that thing for us to get a sample.
Best not to leave anything useful behind.
Connection restored. I'll make this quick. Plant's turrets took a beating, but I should be able to get you a couple of kill lanes. Just get the thing to chase you down the alleys between the buildings, and you'll lead it right into a crossfire. Hello. I wish I'd found this earlier. Those sensors around the facility? Part of a livestock tracking system. Should let you keep tabs on how close the terramorph is. But it's not connected to this network. There should be a terminal in the adjoining room. Tune it to 183.5. Tracker's reading green. And what's that sound?
The security lockdown is active.
Shit. Stop. Stop whatever you're doing and get in cover. It's on the move. Look, I wouldn't engage directly if you can avoid it. The kill lanes. They're set up but need power. There's breakers on each of the buildings you can throw to get them live. Once they're online, lead the Terramorph towards the lights and watch the fireworks. Give it hell, Vanguard.
Additional power required.
Some sort of nest. I have never seen one like this. Curious place for an industrial pact in operation. There must have been a good incentive for them to locate here.
Come then. Meet your death.
Do you think, to mark the occasion, we would be allowed to take a small piece? As a trophy? I suppose not.
Trekker's gone quiet. I suspect it's either hiding or... Wait. You did it, didn't you? Heavens above! You just flatlined a Terramorph! I'm not too proud. Thank you for saving my ass. You didn't happen to grab me a tissue sample, did you? a lot of life gets recorded in our cells. Like, for example, if this terramorph's cells have certain radiation or chemical exposures, it could point to it having been transported on a ship. Then, we could start getting some answers about this thing. So, did you manage to nab one? All right. I spotted a microscope downstairs. Let's see if we can't get to the bottom of this.
Did they have anything of value?
The older model. Okay, let's see what you can do. Running basic diagnostics? Nothing. Maybe a flax can? No. Spectrograph. Damn. This equipment, it's not set up to do a proper analysis of our sample. But this terramorph being here, of all places, it doesn't make sense. Humanity's spread plenty of creatures in our travels across the stars. Pets, livestock, pests. But terramorphs, they're different. To our knowledge, no one's ever spread them intentionally. Yet somehow, they follow us. So when humans settle a world, 70 to 100 years later, terramorphs tend to just appear. No one knows how or why. Dangerous, but at least predictable. Tau Ceti, though, it's too young to have a native population. It's only been colonized 20 years? But then the other option, that someone captured one of the deadliest predators in the galaxy just to wipe out some settlers minding their own business? That seems awfully implausible. Which means we're either looking at a truly strange murder or a faster type of terramorph growth, the results of which could be catastrophic. Terramorph outbreaks have taken down far bigger colonies than this one. Well, they're not exactly buying tickets and flying coach. The theory is that they're spread by some kind of egg or seed that's able to evade our detection. But how the hell an undetectable egg turns into a terramorph without anyone noticing is a question no one's ever found an answer to. And it's why what's happened here could be real bad news for the rest of human civilization. They have. They even took down an entire city once. A place called Londinian had to be quarantined due to a massive outbreak during the Colony War. It's the only known loss of that scale, but it's the reason why any change in our relationship with these creatures needs to be taken very seriously. You're right. We just need more information first. Time was, I had access to one of the best repositories of terramorph research in the galaxy. Seems a natural place to start looking, if I can figure how to access it. But we also need to get this sample properly analyzed, get confirmation on just how concerned we should be. Luckily, I think I know just the person to help with the sample. What would you say to delivering this to him for me? I'd do it myself, but I need to call in some favors. See if I can't get access to that terramorph data. Plus, maybe just pop by a hospital for a little bit. Clear it with your commander first if you have to. You can even show them this. My gene tag. Tell them Hadrian Sinan is worried there could be more attacks on the horizon. They should recognize the name. I was. Long time ago. Family tradition. But I know some of the folks from my old unit moved into the Vanguard. A couple even owe me favors. If I'm lucky, your commander is one of them. That's all I'm asking. I need Dr. Percival Walker to put together a sample analysis for this thing. Full workup. He'll know what that means. I'm not sure exactly where to find him, but last I heard he was contracting with the Trade Authority on Mars. There's a place called the Sixth Circle in Sidonia. Bar run by some old friends. I'll meet you and Percival there. And here. It's not exactly a bounty, but you certainly deserve them. Should cover the cost to fuel to Mars, at least. Now please, go check in with your commander. We need to know what we're dealing with.
Any adventure you can fly away from. Is that how the saying goes?
This is so cool.
Contraband? Scan complete.
I hear
Go ahead and
Constellation
land.
has been collecting a ton of new things. Ancient things.
Look who's back. All set with that probationary mission? We can do your debrief and formally welcome you into the Vanguard whenever you're ready. A terror? What? How did you walk away with the terramorph tissue sample running comms repairs? What happened to the settlers? A gene tag? Let me see that. Sanan. I know that name. Let me check the database. Huh. A lot of this data's been classified. Here we go. Service record. Wow. That's a lot of commendations. Seems like she served with distinction as co-head of a UC Xenoweapons division. Faced tribunal at the end of the Colony War. And was dismissed from duty. Guess that's why I'd heard the name before. If she's former Xeno warfare, though, well, we can at least be sure she knows her aliens. Notation says that Sanan already faced punishment for her actions during the war. Dismissal from the UC military. And her sending you to me first makes me think she's actually trying to do this above board. Considering her history, reaching out to the UC probably wasn't the easiest decision, which means that must be a pretty important sample. In the run-up to the Colony War, the UC started a program with a singular goal. Find the deadliest, most terrifying aliens in the galaxy, and have them fight on the side of the UC. Never saw any of the deployments myself, but the program was clearly enough of a success that when the war came to an end 20 years ago, both sides agreed to have the practice banned, at which point, I presume, this tribunal decided to cut Sanan loose. I'm sure she doesn't list it at the top of her resume, but considering her service record and her area of expertise, I'm not seeing a reason to think this request is anything other than genuine. Did your survivor, Hadrian, did she mention why she thinks this sample is so special? I see. This has been one of the more surprising debriefs I've ever been a part of. I did actually have another mission lined up for you, supporting UC system defense against the Crimson Fleet. But now I guess you have two options on how to proceed. Head to the UC Vigilance and help out SysDef, or deliver that sample. I'll make sure you've got the proper clearances for either path. Consider these your first official orders. And here, so everyone knows you're working with the Vanguard. Welcome to the Navy, Captain. Vanguard's also got some custom ship modifications. You'll be cleared for access to them next time you're down at the spaceport. Talk to ship services. Now, if there wasn't anything else, I suggest you move out.
Oh! Need a moment to walk that off?
What's there to even do on Gagarin?
Beats me, but the financials make sense.
What have you got for me?
Well then, we're going to have to give you one hell of a send-off.
Very good.
You, madam, have a deal.
If you don't see if it belongs on your ship, then oh, please, take a look. Appreciate the business.
What's next on the agenda? Saving the world? Saving the galaxy? Saving... It's very rude of the universe to not welcome you with fireworks when you arrive in space. At a bare minimum, a shooting star would be nice. Graph jump successful, just like
Be
your
advised, you are entering United Colony space. Please maintain course and prepare to be scanned. And we're done. Enjoy Sidonia.
Always nice to kick back at the Broken Spear after a long day.
Before you say anything, no. Mars is nothing like Earth. Heck, even Earth is nothing like what Earth used to be.
We got lots of stuff. Just ask. Yo, hey, what's up? You looking to do some shopping here at the Trade Authority? I'm Manaki. Feel free to ask me anything and I'll do my best to help you out. Yo! This dude came in once trying to sell this whack-looking fish or something. It was still alive. He had it in this big plastic bag full of water and everything. Good size, too. I was trying to tell him I didn't know if we took in things like that, but then my boss came over and told me we absolutely did. And I had to process the sale and store the thing. Man, what a pain in the ass that was. Even weirder, someone came in and bought it like right away. The hell's that about, right? Man, sorry, I can't really say that. Really, they told me not to say anything like that because rumors, you know? All I know is that we're running a business here, and I was told to take in all trades and sell whatever we've got. And listen, I'm not gonna worry about anything other than that. Oh man, I'm still new here, so I don't know how qualified I am to answer that. We're like this huge network of shipping and trade throughout the known universe. Everyone. Free Stars, UC, even Varun uses us in some capacity. Because I guess we're all about free trade for all. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if we bought and sold from the Crimson Fleet, right? They pay my salary, so as far as I'm concerned, they're all right in my book. Cool. That's what we do here. See you around.
Time is money, love. So if you've got something to say, then say it.
Invoices can be collected from the... Oh. Not here for a delivery, are you?
Do you now? Well, I do wish I could help you, Captain, but Dr. Walker has been missing for some time.
A shame, too. We had such high hopes for Percival. I brought him on myself to do medical and biological consulting around the city. Not the sort of work the Trade Authority traditionally does. But we thought it had the potential to become a whole new type of revenue stream for our branch. I invested no small amount of personal capital into the endeavor. But then he decided to run off after a discipline issue. I presume the miners have him hidden somewhere. Plenty of cracks on this old rock. But at this point, it's probably for the best. Dr. Walker decided to start brewing and selling his own pharmaceuticals to our customers below cost. Something his contract expressly forbade. As such, we requested our cut of the profits and began garnishing his salary. Perhaps a little too severely, but well within legal limits. It was around then that he ran off, abandoning his duty and his unpaid accounts. They were all devils. Red Devils. A UC Marine unit based here on Mars, though they were disbanded shortly after the Colony War. I presume a number of them served alongside Dr. Walker. Bonds forged in battle and all that. That's correct. We're no longer interested in Dr. Walker's services. He did leave his post, however, with a sizable debt to his name. If you were to find him and get him to pay, the Trade Authority would be most grateful for it.
Just this one time? I am all too aware that once one starts doing favors for the Trade Authority, it can be difficult to stop.
Why? Feeling charitable? I don't recall the exact figure off the top of my head, but with the interest it's accrued, I believe it's something substantial. So if you were able to find him and convince him to clear his accounts, you would have our honest gratitude.
Yes, not everything needs to be a transaction.
Pity.
Perhaps a little advance on my part might pique your interest. Visit the Sixth Circle, a bar on the lowest level of the city. If someone in Sidonia knows where Percival is, you'll find them there.
Was there something else?
If you are free...
I don't recall the exact figure off the top of my head, but with the interest that's accrued, it's something substantial. If you're feeling charitable, I'd be happy to look it up for you. Do you now? Very well. Let me take a look at his... Here, his current balance. And do remember, all transactions are final. Understandable. Now, was there anything else I could help you with? Be my guest.
Well, well, look what the Martian winds blew in. I'm in what you might call the Special Liaisons Department. When the TA needs to deal with, let's call them organizations that tend to fly below the radar, that's where I step in. I keep my own hours and the pay is good, so who the hell am I to complain? You bet your arse we do, love. You've got all these dusties crammed into this tin can of a city scrambling to use their profit shares to pay their bills. If they have a thin month in the mines, the credits are still due. So we're here to buy anything and everything people want to sell. And I do mean everything, if you catch my meaning. Not that I'm admitting to anything, of course. Sure. Mission boards where you should go if you're looking for your one-and-done freelance jobs. You'll tend to find them at local watering holes near spaceports, like the Broken Spear here in Sidonia. Leaving already? I was just getting interested.
Doing pretty good. Just got a new job, a new apartment, so things are looking up.
Almost break time. Come on, you can make it.
Broken Spear's upstairs. Go drown yourself there. This bar's for devil's vets and their kin. The hell you just say to me? I gotta...
Andy, sit down. You. Don't appreciate some stray wandering into my bar, harassing my patrons. Even the ones I should have cut off 2 drinks ago. Now spit out what you want, or march.
Doc Walker? Well, you're barking up the wrong...
Hey, enough. And you, why don't you come over here, Captain?
Do yourself a favor and just go. Not supposed to talk to you.
stray topsider wanders into my bar asking after a man like Percival Walker. Raises questions. What do you want with him? What? Someone give him the keys to a battle cruiser? Look, you can make up whatever crazy story you want, but you should forget about Percival. Stop! Even if I did know where he was, I'm not telling some stray I don't know from a... Huh. Maybe there is something you can do. Percival's got this debt put on him by the Trade Authority. You make that go away, prove you're a friend of him and the rest of us devils, and... well, I'm always inclined to help a friend. Red Devils were the meanest Marine unit the UC Navy ever had. Couldn't get in if you hadn't done at least one stint as a Martian Dusty. Made us tough. Reliable. It's why they chose us as the handlers for the UC Xeno-weapons. No other unit could handle that pressure. Percival, though, he wasn't a grunt like all of us. Science officer. Made sure the monsters behaved themselves around the Devils, and didn't with everyone else. But it was those monsters that did us in. When the colony war ended and the armistice came down, everything associated with Xeno-weapons got shelved, Red Devils included. Now they're just a memory. Me? Nah. Infantry officer. But my grunts deployed alongside the things. Never seen anything like it, before or since. Monsters from the darkest corners of the Black, rampaging across the battlefield. And understand why they banned them. Brutal. Armistice hurt us more than most, but... wow. Wasn't all bad that came out of that agreement. Well... most straightforward way to take care of this debt would be to just saunter up to the Authority and pay him direct, if you've got credits to throw away. Of course, rumor is the Trade Authority keeps all their records and collections files on a central server inside their storeroom. If someone was to break in there and adjust Percival's debt to something a little more reasonable, say a few hundred credits, I'd be happy to cover the costs.
Crossing the Trade Authority could be perilous. There are real stakes here.
And I look forward to hearing the good news.
Hey, you. Maybe a bounty hunter? Come here.
Go off gravel.
Excuse me?
Heard you talking with Lou, so you're going to help Dr. Walker? Oh, no, I mean, I've got my suspicions, but look, you're planning to help Percival, right? Yeah, sure. Listen, I know how you can do it without having to resort to any B&E. Aqueous hematite. Mars is full of it. People think it's just garbage, but Percival and I, we've been working on some projects in the deep mines. At least when he wasn't slaving away at his Trade Authority contract. But we stumbled on a way to make it useful and profitable. If you give our research over to Octai at the Trade Authority, it should more than cover Percival's debt. That guy's always looking for an angle. No. Well, yes, but the medical kind. I'd help him make whatever the city was running low on that month, and we'd sell it to the miners for cheap. But the Trade Authority got wind and wanted their cut. And then some. It's mostly iron and about 3 centuries of human water runoff, though only Percival would be able to tell you all the trace elements and whatnot. But it builds up around human settlements, and something about the Martian soil changes it, makes it into something new, and we think we found a use for it. Oh, I'm Cambridge. I was Percival's assistant. Well, apprentice, really. Couldn't work in the mines anymore, so he gave me a job helping with some of his side projects. Knows experiments inside and out, and I know this one was gonna be big. Well, yeah. We were never able to finish the research. Spacers moved in and ran us out. Started setting up shop.
Oh, I know what comes next.
But if you can clear them out, I can walk you through how to finish the research. Then you can give it over to the Trade Authority. They'll get folks working in the deep mines again. Jobs come back, I become a modern-day folk hero. Then I don't have to sleep on an inflated spacesuit anymore. Biggest employer on Mars has always been Deimos Star Yards. After the Colony War, Armistice meant they needed a lot fewer warships. Fewer ships meant fewer minerals. That meant a lot of folks scrounging for work around here. A bunch of parasites and cutthroats. They're folks from the fringes of space, willing to put down anyone who tries to move in on what they've decided is theirs, even when it ain't. Strange this group would pick Mars as a new home. Sure, we're not downtown New Atlantis, but there are places where they'd be bothered less than here. My guess is the Authority tipped them off when they heard we were working down there. And cut off what they thought was the competition, you know? Great. So access to the deep mines can be found outside the city. It's not far. Shouldn't even need to hop back in your ship. We'd set up right near the main drill. Taking out the spacer leader should get the message across to the rest of them to buzz off. Once you've managed that, phone up here on the comms panel, and I can walk you through finishing the research.
Hey, welcome to the Sidonia Trade Authority.
What a long day.
No, I will... Things to discuss.
What a long day.
Was there something else? Do you now? Very well. Let me take a look at his... Here, his current balance. And do remember, all transactions are final.
It cleared. Wonderful. Dr. Walker's debt is officially no longer our problem. You have my thanks. Oh, and if you do find him, please let Percival know I'm eagerly looking forward to never working with him again.
If you're here to broker a deal...
Watch out for the robots. They're surprisingly sneaky.
the elevators or stairs to reach the other levels, try to keep them clean. I hate filing litter reports.
Sidonia's not so bad. Honest work, good pay. I get it.
It has been a relief to be honest with you about my past. I appreciate your willingness to listen. But talking about this, remembering all those years, has brought back some unsettling memories. Thank you. That means a great deal to me. I have told you that I spent many years coordinating with smugglers along the edges of the settled systems. There were men and women I worked alongside closely. And over time, I established relationships. They were not of the promised, but I considered them friends. It describes the people of House Varun. We who have been promised to serve the Great Serpent now and forever. In exchange, he promises to care for us when he returns to his domain. Yes, very. It was not what I was expecting. You must understand. I was raised to believe that those who do not follow the Great Serpent do not matter, for they are lost. Their fate is fixed and grim. And yet here were these men and women with hopes and dreams, delights and aversions. It felt like a small betrayal of my people, of House Varun, but I cared for my friends. And then I lost them. It's not something I have much experience with. It was so sudden. We had met on a remote planet to transfer cargo. And zealots appeared in force, seemingly out of nowhere. There was barely time to react. So many were cut down immediately. I believe my years of training saved me, got me moving when others faltered. I retreated to my ship immediately. But I left them all behind. Aaron Bascom and Jada Wong. They were my friends, and I abandoned them. And in the years since,
No. I told myself it's because I never had the time, but in truth, I was scared of what I'd find. 10 years. I was immediately reassigned to another role, light years away. I have no doubt they were resourceful. Still, how badly were their lives damaged by that moment? In my time getting to know you, I have thought more and more of all this. How little sense it all made, how I never really knew what happened or what became of my friends. My connection to you has reminded me what it means to trust someone. To be there for them. And I can no longer live with not knowing. I need to finally pursue this. I would like you with me when I do. I do not know what we will find, but I know it will be easier with you at my side. Thank you. That is... I'm sorry, I am not used to someone being so considerate on my behalf. I am not sure where they might be now, but I believe we should begin the search in Aquila City. That is where I last saw Aaron Bascom.
Yeah? Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Good you're going in there, actually. Bunch of spacers moved in, not long after we got Percival set up. Don't expect he'd run out before they got taken care of, but I'm sure he'll appreciate not having to find out if I left him with enough rations. Here, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
How's everything with you? I'm doing great, actually. Thanks for asking. I
hope I'm not bothering you. Am I in your way? Sorry. See you.
Damn it.
Hunker down.
Not going. Oh. You have no idea what you're in.
You're going down. You'll pay for that.
Keep it together.
Take your best shot.
Give me a sec. Pour fire at him!
Come on, bring it.
Oh!
How are you? If there's anything you need, I am happy to share. Some other time, then. Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets. Remain alert. Best to assume we have not seen the last of these spacers.
Pull back now!
This... I never liked him anyway!
got you! Oh!
One down! I can't see. Oh, you're going. I make this look easy. Get him! Not supposed to be. Best not to leave anything useful behind. Did they have anything of value?
Got me out of the red with the trade authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it. But I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Adrian sent you. She's... Did she look okay? A terramorph? She's fortunate to be alive at all. Hope you two had plenty of backup. So what's this she had you bring all the way down here after putting you in harm's way? Adrian said that, huh? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells. Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here, and I wasn't expecting guests. Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt.
Just paid the whole thing off, huh? Hope it's obvious from my current circumstances that that's gonna be a gift, not a loan.
All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. She was disconcertingly correct. Trying little habit of Adrian's. Which is why, if you wanted to have your film crew jump out and yell surprise, I wouldn't be saddened in the least. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample. It's got all the indicators of the worst terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. It was. An entire city wiped off the map. The swarms were so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
The chances for survival, let alone maintaining any kind of functioning society, would be slim indeed.
So you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? Because until now, the terramorphs that wiped out Londinian had the good sense to stay put. What happened there? It was a tragedy, but at least it was contained. So to find evidence for a similar attack on a different world, well, we don't have enough information to know precisely what this means. But I doubt it's good. So I'd love to know what it is you're planning from here. The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
grab something to eat.
Watch out for the robots. There's some crime.
Is that really her? Hadrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
Might be time. Was that Percival walking through there with you? Oh, glad to see he's still kicking.
Think Hadrian's looking for you. Not the kind of person who likes to be kept waiting.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just glad you both came through it intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. Well, when the colony war came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Varun. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions. And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that. The Cabinet's the UC's highest governing body. The President, top military brass, scientific and diplomatic division heads. Any major decision the UC makes goes through them. They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. No. We were both dismissed after the war for what we did. These days, we're just concerned citizens with a very particular area of expertise. Our damage has been done for a long time. Well, it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the Cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. Because the Terramorph project was doomed from the start. Terramorphs are too mean, too smart, too hungry to be used in combat. Trust us, we tried. The data that's in the archives, it's historical write-ups, anatomical notation, food chain analyses. I doubt they would have even classified it if it didn't have a Xeno-warfare logo on it. You have my word. It's not a threat. I mean, I hope they will, given the evidence we've acquired. But getting the Freestar Collective and House Varun on our side, that won't be easy.
Since neither group is exactly on great terms with the UC at the moment, for various reasons.
Exactly. It's going to mean negotiations and deals and plenty of diplomatic legwork to see this through. But I don't see a better option to solving what's going on here. So it's gonna be up to us to get them on board. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the Cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
The red eyes are some badge of honor, I take it? It would be difficult to conceal.
All outside surface activities require the use of a certified safety suit.
The community center on P1 is a good place to connect with others.
Good day, Captain.
Our scan detected contraband on board. Halt and prepare to be boarded. All illegal and stolen goods will be confiscated. You're on the wanted list. Halt and prepare to be boarded or we will be forced to open fire. Copy that. Stay on course while we escort you in.
Knew it.
This is UC Security. Prepare to be scanned for contraband? United Colonies space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband.
Our scan detected contraband on board. Halt and prepare to be boarded. All illegal and stolen goods will be confiscated. You're on the... wanted list. Halt and prepare to be boarded or we will be forced to open fire. Copy that. Stay on course while we escort you in.
New Atlantis puts on a wonderful show of security, does it not? Something on your mind?
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the Colony War to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already.
Holding a grudge against where a person comes from, that is both ignorant and cruel.
Just the way things are sometimes. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the Cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The Cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The Cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the Cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go. Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard. Yes? You needed something? Enjoy your time in New Atlantis.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. All knowledge related to the technologies banned by the UC and the Freestar Collective after the Colony War resides in the archives, including the aforementioned Terramorph data you and Hadrian are after. I want to know what you, someone with less direct involvement in the Armistice, sees as the purpose behind granting said access.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
You are correct, but it must be considered that with the data in hand, someone else could succeed where that program failed.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Oh, no. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it,
We
man.
can't ever forget the
Captain,
sacrifices
I'm right
made
behind
for the
you.
United
Let's get down
Colonies. We owe such a great debt to so many. Local Marine barracks should already be moving to support
I can
security.
imagine what the Freestar Collective will think when they hear about this.
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
I think he may be trying to take a little too much on. Literally.
Sorry.
Go.
I'm so sorry.
Let me go.
What are you doing? EM fire, Captain!
Why are you hiding?
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop!
I also wish to be prepared for any situation, but there are practical limits, no? Cowards.
More than that! Lights out on...
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there. I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
I heard something.
Oh God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good. Hold the line!
Captain! You're going to be okay! It's not real! Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real! We have to put down that force!
Meat to the slaughter.
What is this, a new surprise? Let's see how quickly it can be done.
X-bots? We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts. Your call. We're on the line.
Come then. Meet your death.
They're going to eat you alive.
Ready for a fight?
Meat to the slaughter.
is useless. You've already lost.
We're out of the woods. That was the last one. The spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something.
It's right there.
You're mine!
Surrounded. All around. No way out.
Need some help here! Dead.
This is useless. You've already lost.
Oh, God.
Watch out!
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
The rest of the city is safe, thanks to us. You deserve whatever accolades you have coming.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it. I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
You're cleared to head back up.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
The loss of life, the damage to the spaceport. The costs of this attack are greater than I think we realize.
Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The Cabinet was unanimous. They want you. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? It has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. We also pay reduced prices on most goods and services across the UC. There's also a credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet. But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the greatest faction in the galaxy. If you're willing to help us, we can open that door. I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Always good to speak with citizens.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni.
There are so
Start
many
getting a
different
plan
groups
together
across
for
the
that
civil
data.
systems. It's hard to keep up with all the work they're doing.
I'll coordinate putting the data to good use with the Cabinet. We'll be ready to
It's
move.
quite
as
the
soon as we've got
conundrum
it.
you two have uncovered. But we'll get to the bottom of it.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant
This is
Yumi
the
was
last
looking for you.
Terramorph attack like
Sounds
this
like
the
he's got
UC
more
will
work.
ever face. You have my word on that.